Alright, so this game is Pathway.
Oh boy.
It's like an FTL style, like, roguelite kind of game.
Okay.
So here you like, pick from a handful of different characters. One of the cool things is, like, when your characters die in other, like, runs, they don't... Like, they're still available, except for the next run you can't use them, because I guess they're in the hospital or something.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So instead of just, like, dying, they, you know, like,
So, the
fall
name...
over, I guess.
The name Pathway makes me think of, like, a fantasy-type setting, but this is pretty clearly real-world stuff that they've got going on here, but it looks a little different.
Oh, very much so. Like, you straight up...
What's the story
I think the
behind it?
first level you're in, like, Jerusalem, and, like, you go through, like, Syria and Palestine, and this is... You know Sniper Elite? This game is kind of just that.
Okay.
In terms of, like, setting. It's, like, Nazi World War II, but also they're doing mysterious...
Occult stuff, because that's what Nazis do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this time I have the captain. He has a beard, and he...
The captain, Thel, your favorite!
Oh shit, you're right.
Yes!
Finally, the captain is in a video game.
So as you can see, this is kind of like a FTL style map where you have, like, different paths and whatever. I think it's called Pathway because there's paths.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And then when you go to each node, you get, like, a pseudo, like, story kind of thing where some of it is like, oh, you walk up to an ancient temple. But unfortunately, I think, like, there just really isn't enough variety in the different, like,
things.
Like, micro stories or whatever.
Okay, so it looks like the combat system here is turn-based? Is that right?
Yeah, it's a pretty basic turn-based strategy. One thing that I kind of hate about this game is they have Nazi dogs that you're forced to kill, and they make, like, sad dog dying noises. They do the whole Yelp thing. It's awful.
That is pretty bad.
Yeah, that's straight up the captain from Tintin, though. Look at him.
He kind of is.
Him.
Yeah.
I mean,
What is the entire outpost being guarded by a single dog? Oh no, okay.
No, there's Nazis.
There's the guy.
At the bottom, it shows you, like, the different number of people. So because this game is, like, Nazi occult stuff as usual, there's also, like, zombies in it. Except
Can I play as Hellboy?
As far as I know, no.
Damn it. Sorry, go on.
See, look, I just ran up there.
These landlubbers.
Knifed the dog. Yeah, the landlubbers. This dog.
I gotta know. What is that guy's backstory? Why is he here fighting Nazis?
Honestly, I don't know.
Who cares? Is that the backstory?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
He's very passionate about treasure hunting, and sometimes Nazis just get in the way.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
It does have
I've seen Indiana Jones.
It does have a very Indiana Jones vibe to it. I mean,
okay.
More so than just having Nazis. It's like there's temples and there's, like, mysterious artifacts and that sort of thing. Except
okay, so are you treasure hunters then?
Are you treasure hunters? No. So there is kind of a story, like, they kind of have, like, campaigns, sort of, where the first one is, like, you're going to rescue some dude, and it's, like, a buddy of yours or something.
Okay.
And then the second, like, there's something like 5 or 7 campaigns or something, but they vary in length, and they only unlock when you beat the previous one. So when I was playing this recording right here is actually me beating the first campaign from, like, start to finish. This is, like,
cool.
One of my first or second runs. Pretty early on to be playing it, but the first one I got murked on, so, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
As you do when you play one of these games for the first time. So, but now that being said, the story isn't really you are soldiers who are there to fight Nazis.
No, you're just random dudes.
You're guys who are just doing other stuff.
Yeah, a lot of the characters are, like, ex-military or just, like, I don't know, they're, like, random dudes.
Well, sure, yeah. It looks like they've got an ensemble of both serious and non-serious action movie characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Miguel character, I think he's like a... Yeah, this guy right here, I want to say he's like an ex-British soldier or something.
Okay.
So they each
And
have
they-
like very small amounts of like information on who they are, but I couldn't
Right.
really tell you.
Okay, so they're, but yeah, essentially they're like Action Star 1, 2, and 3, and 5. That's
I
what it
wouldn't
seems
even
like.
say
anyway.
that, because some of them are like, there's like a nerdy with glasses Velma-looking doctor guy.
Okay,
or
sure, but that
character. There's,
that
like-
became an Action Star archetype after National Treasure, so
Well, whatever the case,
yeah.
there are like a variety of different characters. There's like one character who can't use guns and only has a machete.
Oh,
You
I
unlock
see.
now that sounds fun.
You unlock the different characters by basically completing achievements. Although sometimes they don't seem to work. Because there's one that's like kill 100 Nazis, and I definitely have an achievement for killing 100 Nazis, but the character is still locked, so I don't know.
I see. Maybe
what's
you have to kill
happening.
100 in one run or something. Who knows?
Maybe. That's possible. So one kind of interesting thing is as you're going through, like, you'll complete a map like with enemies and stuff, and they'll drop items, and those items go into your Jeep's like storage. And then any money and like items that you find between runs carry over. So even if your dudes die, all of the stuff in the storage goes to your next set of dudes.
Oh, okay. So
and-
it's not like permanent meta progression, but you can kind of save up for your next run if you
Well,
know
that
you're
was
gonna
what I
run
was
out.
going to say next. The
sorry.
characters have experience, and they level
Okay.
up, and that does persist. So, like, the
Okay.
more you play, the straight up stronger your characters will get. So,
Right.
even if you're, like, not great at this game, just, I assume, over time, if you play it over and over again, your characters will eventually be able to do it. See,
It
here's
could also be set up in. Oh, go
here's
on.
kind of like a micro story. I don't even remember what it said, but it was like, you find some junk. And it's like
Okay,
random worth
Just like a
money
little
items, and then the one on the
event.
right is fuel. So
gotcha. Okay,
kind
yes,
of just
that's
like
right.
in FTL, you have like a
Yeah.
number of fuel. If in the bottom right there's like times 10. That's like 10 spaces you can go.
Right.
And if you run out of fuel, your characters have to run without the Jeep and will get hurt. They'll take
Oh,
damage.
that's interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. Because, like, in FTL, if you ran out of fuel, you just had to stay there. You didn't have a choice. It wouldn't make sense for your dudes to get out and try to fly to another spaceship.
Right.
But that's a much better setup for that, yeah.
And my favorite thing about this game is actually the art and like the little animation of the little Jeep driving around. Like,
Yeah,
is
it all
pretty
looks
trails.
really good.
yeah.
It
I wish
reminds
it-
me a little bit of the same way Wargroove had, like, really nice pixel art and stuff.
See
Except this is much more detailed.
here you're like I was gambling on like whether or not I would get a good or bad outcome from this, and
Mhm.
like you go in and there's like more story, and you might run into enemies or you might run into just stuff. Here I'm like, do I want to ambush them or just leave? I decide to ambush them because I want more junk.
Right.
Yeah, and there's a variety of maps. I just the combat really just isn't that deep. It's very much just like shoot dudes. You have to track your ammo. There's like consumable items like grenades and like health bandages and stuff, and then like every character like has a secondary ability based on their weapon that costs bravery, which anytime
Okay.
I guess you like shoot or be shot at, you gain bravery.
Is that the little blue bar?
The blue is like armor.
Oh, okay.
There's like health, armor, and bravery is like kind of a resource that refills and stuff. And you can do
Gotcha.
things like the little hat with glasses there in the corner on the bar is like it's called low profile. It makes it so that you have a chance to evade when they shoot at you.
Oh, okay.
But it costs 1 bravery, so stuff like
Ah.
Weirdly enough, the combat is reminding me more than anything of Wasteland 2.
Really?
that. Yeah, sort of,
Yeah.
but not as deep, obviously, because it is
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of supposed to be a run-based thing. And that's like
Right.
my biggest complaint with this game is while it's really interesting looking, it's just not deep. It feels very shallow in a lot of ways. Like the little
I feel like-
stories, there's just not enough of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like overall.
The combat is just like fairly simple. There's really not that many different enemies. I think from what I've seen playing through, up to only the second campaign I give you, but like it's a lot of Nazis, and then later on you get like 2 kinds of zombies. So I don't know.
I see.
If there is more, like, they really kind of wait to roll out on it, which kind of sucks.
Right.
Even then, I would not be surprised if there just really wasn't that much more.
Right.
So, I don't know. It feels like the kind of game that really needs an expansion pack or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all of the base essentials are there and everything like works well, and I didn't run into any bugs or anything, unless that like achievement's not unlocking things as a bug, which I'm not even sure if that's exactly what's happening. But yeah, I don't know. Like it's just it's a solid foundation. There just doesn't seem to be as much content as I feel like there should be to make this game like worth it.
Right.
Which is kind of a bummer because it is kind of interesting looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, it looks like the combat system is solid, but it, like, I don't know, this looks interesting. This looks like a completely different... How many little, like, combat maps are there? Because this looks like something specific to, like, you're going inside of a temple with, like, a particular event, right?
Yeah, there's a number of them. I think that probably is one of the better things. Like, there are a pretty good variety of level map designs to go through, and at the end of the each scenario or campaign or whatever, there's a custom one just for that specific combat.
Right.
So at the end of this one, you're trying to save a dude, and he's like locked in a room in the center of the thing, and you like, so the map is designed to be like one of those executioner firing squad areas, but that was the only place that I've seen that map. So, you know.
Okay. Right. Yeah, I don't know. I think it looks pretty interesting. I kind of want to try it out, actually, after having seen the gameplay footage.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I mean, it's gonna be one of those things that, like, your tolerance for this kind of thing will vary based on how much you kind of like this style of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know, some people are into run-based games, especially, like, you know, kind of roguelike-y stuff, and then this kind of does have like an overall progression, so it isn't like you're just wasting your time like some run-based games kind of feel. It's kind of like doing both a little bit.
Right.
An additional thing is each different character has their own like traits to them. So one of my dudes has survivalist, so that I can inspect the well. If I didn't have this character with them, it just wouldn't be able to do that. There's another one where like you're following a Nazi convoy, and you can have your like if one of your dude has like bravery or something, you can like jump off the truck into the like convoy truck.
Like cool action-y maneuvers.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
You don't always get to play them. Sometimes it's just like, and this happens, but other times it's like, and then you're ambushed, or you're ambushing them. So you know, there's kind of some variety about that, but usually it does kind of boil down into good or positive effects and or combat. So that's kind of where you're at with this, which is fine, but you know, it just feels like solid foundation. I just don't know if there's
it's just
like
it's just lacking content, is what you're saying, right?
From my perspective. I mean,
right.
You know, people might disagree or might have different bars of what they feel. This game really isn't that expensive either, so it's like,
yeah,
it's easy to you know, for the price it's probably not too bad, but I don't know. It's just like people might just prefer something like FTL, which I feel like does have a lot more content, but you know, if they've played that to death, this might scratch a similar itch without being the same thing. So, you know, it is what it is.
And you're a little more warm on this than you were on FTL, right?
I straight up do not like FTL.
Right.
I like this game better than FTL.
What do you think the difference is here? Like the major thing that makes makes you like this game better? I
feel like FTL, really the problem I had with it was it did really just feel like the randomization would just fuck you over. And I feel like this, you have a lot more control of what you're doing. Like even if you run out of gas or something. Yeah, I do. It feels like even if you run out of gas or something, it's like kind of your own fault. Like you can sort of deal with that sort of thing. I don't know.
Right. It like sets you back, but it's not like an instantaneous. Well, you're done.
Yeah. There are certain things, like the first time I traveled on foot, I didn't know that it did deal damage, and one of my characters wasn't fully healed, so they died.
Oh.
And I really
no.
wish that it gave me like a confirmation or something, but you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like one of those things that you'll only do once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's okay to learn.
right.
I'll figure it out.
I wish there was more enemy variety. There's kind of like, there's basic troopers, there's like medics, there's shock troopers, which are like basic troopers but have better equipment and armor. But there's 2 kinds of zombies that I've seen and a dog. So I don't. It feels like there could have been more, or if there is more, they really could have rolled it out sooner. Because it isn't until like the second campaign that you're ever seeing medics outside the final bosses. So it's like, I don't know.
See, I'm wondering if it's just designed to be that way. Like it's not intended so much to be a run-based game as it is like you just go through the campaign.
Yeah, like a slow crawl kind of.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Exactly.
I mean, again, it's gonna be like one of those things. Like whatever your individual tolerance is for like longer term games like this, and because I play so many games, like I don't often stick with one game for a really long time, but I know that a lot of other people do. So you know, this game kind of does have a path to it that I think people could stick with for a long time. So
yeah, I could see the depth, like lack of depth being a problem.
Yes, a path.
Just because of the fact that like it's almost it's like one of these adventure type games, and one of those is the things that make those interesting is like all of the intrigue, and if it doesn't have like a ton of intrigue, then it's like, okay, if I'm just doing the same thing over and over again, I can see how that would get boring, at least within the setting.
Yeah. But
this game has gotten. I remember hearing a lot about this game, and I think that it'll probably end up with like expansions and more updates and stuff like that.
I really hope so, because I feel like that a lot could be added to this game. And this isn't even something I mentioned yet, but each different, like, there's a variety of different kinds of weapons. So my captain guy has a shotgun. The other dude has like an assault rifle. There's also snipers. There's like weird Nazi weapons that do strange things, like electric guns and weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
oh, good.
But each character has proficiency, so no one can use like every gun. But that's fine, because over time you'll unlock new characters and whatever anyway. So that's whatever. But early on, like you might run into those weird Nazi guns and not be able to use it. But that's just a consequence of the way that the game is set up.
Yeah, the statistics and stuff. That still leads me to believe that it's, like I was saying, like you're intended to like try and progress through the story. If you're not doing good enough, maybe go back and grind one of the other campaigns for a little bit, that kind of thing. Which
look how screwed I look right now.
Yeah, you do look pretty screwed.
I actually come out of this alive though. Which is kind of funny.
Good.
I sort of was taking advantage of that bravery mechanic and just being like, well, I'll shoot a dude, then then do the low profile and just keep doing that until everyone's dead, hopefully.
Oh yeah. You know what? I've done that in similar turn-based strategy games like that.
I'm like, I'm gonna use just all my grenades. That'll help.
It sure did, didn't it?
Yeah, I nuked that guy, and now there's one dude left, and my other guy's knocked out. So if your guys get knocked down, you have a few turns to save them, but if you don't, then they're knocked out for that, until like the next time you were to play the game.
For like the run?
This run and the next one. So.
And that's kind of interesting. It keeps you from just like brute forcing levels out of your guys or whatever by.
Yeah, it forces you to play multiple characters, which is kind of cool. I do. So there are other like allies you can find on the way, but even if you like find them, they don't necessarily unlock forever.
Right.
Which is kind of a bummer, because I find. So
it reminds me of Dungeon of the Endless, didn't it have that? Didn't that have the same thing? Like you could find anybody, but to unlock them to start with, you had to do certain conditions.
Yeah. I actually loved that about that game. But this it doesn't appear that that's the case. It looks like you unlock people by only doing achievements. And the one character that I've ever found didn't unlock, or isn't even a character you can unlock. So yeah, so there's also just NPCs. And look, I traveled or no, my guy just died, that's right. So I'm by myself here. Until
and then a dog. Yeah.
So I find a pet dog. And so
Can
for the
you
rest
pet
of this
the
run,
dog?
I guess he does. I guess he does in the little cutscene. The dog's name is Fenrir, which is kind of a cool, cool thing.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He has goggles on.
He has goggles. Wow, that's great. I love him. Fenris.
Yeah.
Well, it's pronounced Fenrir because
okay.
it's Norse.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Or I don't know. Maybe they pronounce it Fenrir. Fenris,
I didn't know if who knows.
Fenrir is definitely spelled like that. The actual like
Dog.
the god
Right.
or whatever.
But of course, there's also people who just spell Fenris.
Yeah. So I'm not sure.
Fenrir with an R instead of
Yeah.
Fenris. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So who knows with that? But I choose to believe that it's Fenrir because.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just like I refuse to pronounce Jotun from Guild Wars 2 with a hard J.
Yeah. So here's the
Are they supposed to be?
Yes, they call them
I was
Jotun out
unaware
loud
of
in the
that.
game over and over again. They call them Jotun, and they're not.
I feel like they're probably
never
supposed
played
to be
the North.
Jotun, but the director fucked up there.
Yeah, the voice director probably messed up.
Yeah, because I mean, like, if one actor fucked up, it's like, okay, but if everyone's pronouncing it that way, it's like, voice director, sir. So I'm supposed to pronounce it Jotun with a hard J? Yes! Why? Listen! You gotta pronounce it right. Okay. I mean, you're paying me, so...
Yeah, exactly, whatever.
That's why the Char female player character left. Had to
No,
pronounce
it's
Jotun
because-
one too many times.
Yeah, that's it, I'm sure.
It is kind of a bummer, though, that you constantly have to kill dogs. Like, I would almost get a mod for this that just replace those with more
Stop even
Nazis.
killing dog. Why? The dog's a Nazi too.
Yeah, but they make, like, the saddest, like, yelping dog noise when you kill them.
I'm sorry.
Would you not want to kill the Nazis if they went every time they died?
They're not a dog.
Yeah, but the dogs are Nazis.
I don't care.
They're Nazi dogs.
Hey, listen,
not their
these
fault.
dogs don't understand the Nazis' ideology. They're just being dogs.
Yeah.
No, look, they've even got a little Nazi armband on them. They're
Someone
Nazi
put
dogs.
that on the dog.
No, the dog.
The
follows
dog
the
does not
server.
understand. The dog looks at Hitler and is just like, yes, this is the man. This dog has written a thesis paper on why Hitler was
Yeah,
right.
exactly. That's why it's okay to kill these dogs, because they're Nazis.
One thing I do like, though, that this bums me out in a lot of turn-based strategy games is this game allows you to shoot and then move,
Oh,
which-
yeah.
which is really nice.
Yeah.
A
get-
lot of games don't let you do that, but this
Yeah.
game does.
Whenever a game does let me do that, I just automatically assume it doesn't until I accidentally figure out that it does.
Or sometimes games will let you do that, but only if you have a particular perk.
Yeah, or very specific situations or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at them, like even the bad guy ones. Look how cute they are, wagging their little tails.
Oh man, that is pretty cute. But
Look at
look,
that idle
he's
animation.
glowing red. He clearly has some sort of Nazi demon drug inside of him.
Well, it's not gonna stop me from shooting it in the face.
Okay, yeah, see, exactly. Because it is trying to eat you.
I'm like, shit, the dog has 1 health, I don't know what to do.
And now you can have the other dog kill it. Dogs fight all the time. That's normal, see?
The dog has a bleed attack.
Oh,
The
that
dog-
seems really good.
Yeah, the dog has more than just
Dude,
a punch, it has
does
the
it-
equivalent of a knife.
Does he have the same? Do like the enemy dogs have the same skill set as this dog that you found?
No idea, but probably, I guess.
Okay.
I've never received a bleed from a dog, but I usually kill them before they can attack me.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right. Is there anything else that you want to point out about the game, or?
Well, the gameplay's almost over, so I figure if we hold out, we'll see the like final cutscene
Oh, okay, if you say so.
of this area.
But Saine, how are we supposed to have spoilers in our videos? You can't do that.
Whatever.
That's
It's a
against the
run-based game.
rules.
It's like the first map. Come on. Whatever.
Yeah, I know. I'm teasing you.
Whatever. Look, the dog says gnarls.
Maybe just
Gnarls says
maybe
gnarl.
just a little a mod that just makes the dogs go to sleep.
Yeah,
If you
Yeah.
shoot them.
yeah. You're shooting the dogs with tranquilizers. That's it.
Yeah. All of your regular bullets are bullets, except when they shoot dogs, then they're tranquilizers.
Mm-hmm.
See, and here's Morton. Yeah,
Who the hell is Morton?
he's that
Is
dude.
he the? He's the second guy. Is he like the?
No, he's not
is he
even a
the
playable
shopkeeper?
character. He's not even a playable character. He's just some dude, I guess.
Is he
Okay.
the shopkeeper? Is he asking you what you're buying?
Maybe. Also, this is narrated by a guy who sounds like they're trying to do a fucking impression of. Oh God, what's his name? The guy from National Treasure. What's his name?
Nick
Uh,
Cage?
Nick-
Nicolas Cage. Yes, he sounds
Oh,
like he's
God.
doing an impression
Why would you choose Nicolas Cage to do an impression of for your
because
narration?
it's an easy impression. All right.
Yeah, I want to do an impression of Nicolas Cage.
All right, well, that's Pathway. Thanks for joining us. Remember, as always,
Stay beautiful.